sector, right? There are a lot of things that are happening in our country. I mean, you talk about e-citizens billion, being suspected to have been, the country is said to have been defrauded of billions of shillings through the e-citizen scam. And if you look at it, I mean, it's just plain. A number of people own companies. These companies have contracts with other companies that they own. And these companies have a contract with the government, and money is just going out, cannot be accounted for. The Auditor General says this thing stinks from here to high heaven. It's just a dirty deal, and people are getting rich stealing money at a time like this. And then on the political end, we have an outfit that seems to be forming called Kenya Moja that brings together a number of people who say or claim that they're getting dissatisfied with the leadership of their party, in the sense that you have members of ODM, you have members of almost all other parties involved. And they say they had been waiting for a while to see whether their party leaders were going to respond in a positive way towards what Kenyans are going through. And now that they've discovered their party leaders are part of the scam and part of the trash that is going on, they've decided they're going to speak out. To help us get a better understanding as we discuss this, I have Wasonga with me in the studio. Matthew, welcome.
Thank you, Fred, for having me.
Yes. Yeah. Matthew, you look at the billions that the Auditor General says have been stolen through the e-citizen and continue to be stolen because, right now there's nothing. You cannot deal with the government unless you deal with e-citizen. Yeah. You imagine that all this money is being stolen, yet we are saying we don't have money. And it's a very unfortunate situation, isn't it?
Yeah, very unfortunate, Fred. And it's a very sad thing that we keep on losing a lot of funds while others are struggling. It's come at a time whereby you listen that the government will tell us that they don't have money to fund some of the most critical things that anybody requires, but we keep on losing billions of funds. Yeah. You know what is happening in the education sector. I saw it when it was being aired by one of the media stations, a school in Tarakanidi. Unfortunately, this is the area where the deputy president comes from. The Ministry of Education did admit that at least 40 schools are not in good states, while the government can just sit back and watch as we lose billions of funds. It's very sad. First, let me say this, Fred. E-citizen is a very brilliant idea. It has really bring a lot of, it has easen a lot of stress, because as it is now, most of the government services, you can just go them through the e-citizen. Yes. You don't need to queue. My taking will be that the e-citizen should be completely under the government management, so that we can have some kind of accountability. And maybe we can have someone to be questionable and to be answerable. It's so sad that you leave the entire system into someone's hand, a private entity. How do you question someone how they handle their own private business? They will say, I'm always submitting my tax. Yes. Okay? We have private media stations. You cannot, as long as they are operating within the given law, they submit their taxes, they don't do anything that sabotage the government of the day, then there is no any way you can question how they handle their business. So what is happening is that
that's a very interesting perspective, because they entered into a contract with the government.
Yes, but
this the amount we will be getting.
Exactly, but this is a private institution, Fred. If today you enter into a partnership, let's say for example where we are now, if the government decided to advertise with this media station, you only give them your terms. This is what we charge for this airtime, this is what we will be paying. But now it is not the business of the government to know how much you are making, the profit and all that. It's upon you, because after all you are a businessman. So I think the citizen things, instead of doing, I hear some leaders yesterday appearing before the committee in Parliament says that these citizens will be dealt away with. To me, it will not, because this citizen is a very good idea. The only thing is that they should now find a way to reduce losses of fund. E-citizens would have been fully government-owned Okay, it will not be a private owned system. It will be owned by fully the government under the Ministry of Information, and it will operate under the Communication Authority, so that when such things happen, now the Auditor General said that around hundreds of billions of shillings have been lost. Who is going to be answerable?
In fact, it talks about 9.4 billion shillings that was moved from the platform in a very shadowy manner, involving, things you cannot trace.
To make a common mwananchi understand what 9 billion is, 9 billion is equivalent to annual budget of a county. Let's say like somewhere like Kajiado County or Migori County. That is the amount that the national government gives to a county.
Hold on.
So it's like you've stolen the entire county.
I remember Bishop Oginde, David Oginde, one time when he was talking about why people are so obsessed with stealing billions.
Yes.
And he said, if you take 1 billion shillings, you can live on it for around 2 or 3 years, spending 100,000 shillings
every day.
Yes. As in, today, you are supposed to spend 100,000 shillings.
Yes.
And that is assuming that the money is not in the bank, that is, it's not gaining interest.
Exactly.
So every day you spend 100,000 shillings unamaliza ishe.
Yes.
Then tomorrow you have a fresh 100,000 shillings.
On your desk.
That's 1 billion.
Yes.
This is 9 billion.
Now you can imagine, and not only 9 billion being stolen, you realize it in the aspect that this is coming at a time whereby the country is really suffering. Not everybody is enjoying. We have people in this country that are really suffering. This is coming at a time whereby the government, Fred, if you look at the kind of leaders we have, that's why I've always been saying that it is time for now as Kenyans to do a soul search and ask ourselves what kind of a country do we want to have. This is a time whereby the government and the government official, including the deputy president, will go across the country, spending close to 100 million. It is so funny that they will spend almost 100 million on transport and they give out 30 million in the name of empowerment. You look at it, it's so ridiculous. Okay? If the government itself is comprised of thieves and con men and women, then what do you expect a private citizen? Because it's only a private citizen that go to the government and steal with the government. If you look at what is happening with the e-citizen, it's like some individual. We have privately owned companies as compared with the government to steal from citizens. Now, it's sad. If you look at, I was looking at this e-citizen saga, you realize that these companies has a contract with the government. So they have a contract with the government to steal from the innocent Kenyans.
Actually,
the government is supposed to protect citizens.
If you look at the companies, the standard has broken it so well. If you look at the companies that are involved, and this is, Gadongo is the one who's exposed to this. If you look at the companies, there's one called Lexco 7 Limited.
Yes.
The owners, the directors are Godwin Wanjogu, Gold, and then there's Gold Rock Capital Limited. Yeah. These are companies.
Yes.
Sydney Ngunyi Washira, these are people who own the Lexo 7 Limited.
Yes.
Then there's a James Kiari Gashohe Abdallah Tawir. Then there's Pesaflow Limited. It owns the directors Charles Wambani Sewe, Evid Araka Sibi, Larry Ochieng Agoro, Frank Lawrence Achieng Weya. Then there's another one called Olive Tree Media Limited. It's owned by Charles Wambani Sewe. Now remember there was a Charles Wambani Sewe in the Pesaflow Limited. And then there's James Kabiru Kahia. Then there's again another company called Webmasters Africa Limited. Now, the people who own Webmasters Africa Limited include the Lexco 7 Limited.
Actually, Lexco 7 Limited is the owner of Webmaster.
Yes. So, Lexco is noted as one of the directors as a company.
Yes.
Then there's David K. Muigua, there's Thomas Isaac Juma, Robert Obel, Charles Karori, Kennedy Oduori Okech, Joash Samuel Gomba, Sydney Ngunyi Washira, James Kiare Gashui, Abdallah Tawir. You remember Abdallah Tawir was also in Lexco. So he owns it as part of first the director of the company, and then also individually. Then you have Derek Ogare Onyango, James Ayugi Otieno. And these guys have been paid a lot of money. There's a lot of money has been moving.
If you look at the eCitizen,
yes,
it's actually owned by 3 major companies: the PesaFlow, that Webmaster, and that media.
Yes.
Something media.
It's Olive Tree Media.
Olive Tree Media. Those are the main owners of the eCitizen. Okay? Now they have a contract with the government. They are the people who collect money. The PesaFlow is the main channel whereby they collect money. PesaFlow own even the pay bill that people used to pay money to the government. Now if you look at this, these are what I was saying, that these are now privately owned companies, registered under the Register of Companies. They have all compliance, submit their taxes. Now, why should the government allow such kind of a very vital part? I remember when President William Ruto came into government, he said that the government system now will be through eCitizen. There was a time they were saying that the people should now start paying school fees through eCitizen.
Yeah, I remember there was that eCitizen should. You've reminded me. So you can imagine if
you were to pay school fees through eCitizen, what kind of a mess could we be in right now? So this is a clear picture whereby the government, who are supposed, now that one can tell people, and that one can tell voters, how that just one choice of making that your vote can mess your life.
Now imagine for these people to operate like this, and for even government itself to suggest that every individual should pay school fees through this system.
In a company that they don't even own.
Yes, it's indicative that there are some senior government officials who own this company through proxy.
Exactly.
Because otherwise, how in the world would you be directing all the funds, all school fees to be paid through eCitizen?
So you can imagine what kind of a mess.
What?
You can imagine what kind of a mess. That's why I'm saying that if our good member of parliament want to help Kenyans, then these eCitizen things will now be transferred to the Ministry of ICT and through the Communication Authority, so that it become a fully government-owned entity, whereby we can now have accountability. Today, how on earth do you think do you even think that the member of parliament have the authority to summon the directors of those companies and question them? The best they can do is through EACC, and then can ask them, now tell us. And a very simple thing, they will say, now we are businessmen, we register a company, we are doing business, we get a contract from the government, we follow all the due process. Whatever you are saying we did not steal, we were just making profit. We offer services and we were paid for the services we offered. How will you say that? Now this one can tell how the kind of government that are so self-centered that cannot even think of the common mwananchi.
Let me tell you some of the irregularities
and they were even
that were quoted by the Auditor General.
Yes.
She says, PesaFlow's account not disclosed nor approved by Treasury.
Yes.
Electronic Citizen Solutions Limited paid over 500 million shillings without a contract, legitimacy, or ownership disclosure.
Yes.
Now, lack of service level agreements with the financial service providers. And then convenience fees collected in violation of Gazette notices. Transfers to undisclosed private entities directly from a government pay bill. I mean, money was coming from a government pay bill.
So from what we can say is that eCitizen, the government has been using eCitizen to steal from Kenya. It's just as clear as that. Because if you look at that I was going through Standard this morning, and you realize that they were saying that some of these companies does not even have a physical location. Okay. They don't have a physical office.
As in, if you wanted to do an audit, you would not find them anywhere.
But they have a postal address, but no physical office. Okay? So it's like they don't know where they are operating from. And these are companies that are collecting hundreds of millions from
billions of shillings
from Kenyans, but does not even know any physical. So how do you even start auditing them? How do you even start following up? Okay? Where will you find them? Of course, you know the names, but they will say, "This I'm an individual." Go and ask the company. Okay, we all know how these things work, Fred. If today I have a company and I own the company owns you, it is not to me. So if you want to sue, you go and sue the company, not to me. Yes. If there is any case with the company, go and even block all the accounts and suspend freeze all the accounts of that company. Not my own things, because
these are things that should get. These are things that should get you angry.
Exactly.
I mean, transfer to undisclosed private entity directly from a government pay bill.
How does even the government now transfer to unknown? That can't, Fred. You could have vitu zinafanyika kwa nchi that you just get pissed off.
It is an indication that the people involved. These guys, the directors, are proxies.
What we can say is that there is some big fishes within the government that are working with these so-called companies to steal from Kenyans. That's why I'm telling you that this is a clear picture.
This is crazy.
This is a clear picture of a government who is supposed to protect its citizens, stealing from the same citizens. Okay? It's like you, Fred, today you are stealing from your own employers. Then you ask yourself, you are supposed to pay these guys and you are stealing from them.
Yes.
Is it, or you stealing from your son or daughter? It's so sad, Fred. Okay? So it's unfortunate. And the only thing I can say, Fred, is that it's a time that we think and we know the kind of people we have in this country that can just tell you how much the kind of leaders we have. Okay, and how much we need to change and have a rethink. That's why the other time I keep saying that, to me, I don't see anything coming good out of this broad-based thing or this so-called united opposition thing. Because these are just the same people with the same mentality. All they are fighting for is just a space to steal. They don't care about Kenyans. They only care about themselves. Someone will make a noise because he has not been given that space to steal. If he has the opportunity to steal from people, they will go mute and you'll not hear from them. It's just as sad as that. We need to have people that are so patriotic, that love this country and are ready to defend our constitution and the people of Kenya. Because I think if even the president, if our president William Ruto was as patriotic as keep on saying, then I don't think such kind of things can be happening under his watch.
Not only that, by now, now that Parliament is probing this, we are hoping, we are truly hoping. You see, Parliament has been a rubber stamp of the executive.
Not even the rubber stamp. Parliament and executive have become one thing. There is no any difference. We don't have a parliament, Fred. Let us not try to sugarcoat all these things. As it is now, we don't have any parliament. We don't. There is nothing that will come out from that probe. We don't have parliament. The parliament we have is part of the executive. Yes. Okay. I was saying this thing, if that parliament we have, we could not even end up with this kind of cabinet we have right now, but we end up with this kind of cabinet because of the same parliament. We don't have parliament. I tell you on this so many times that if you look at that parliament, out of the 290 elected members, you cannot even count up to 10 members of parliament that are on their right senses. Some, they just rubber stamp everything coming from the executive. Okay?
So if we get the truth out of this, I'm really hoping that sanity will prevail in Parliament so that the truth can be brought forth and the shenanigans we see do not play out and we finally get to a point whereby Kenyans are told, this is how much has been stolen out of your coffers. The reason why you're suffering is because this money is being stolen, and it's being stolen by this, and as in name and shame, and name the people, the puppet players, because there is no way people can disappear with over 9.6 billion without the central bank and treasury knowing.
Exactly.
It's not possible.
And now let me surprise you. this parliament you are talking about. Our so-called good member of parliament, the honorable members, amid all this thing, the only thing they could think of is to shut down the entire e-citizen and do away with it. The money has been stolen. If today we say we stop, there is no longer e-citizen,
more money will be stolen.
Where will this money come from? Or how then do we even start probing those who've stolen this money? That's why I was saying the best thing could have happened now, Fred, is that if this government or the parliament were on their right senses, the best thing they could have done is now to to hand over the entire e-citizen system to the government. Then they probe and brought to book everybody who is involved in this theft.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. But you'll not come and tell Kenyans that now their money have been stolen from e-citizens have been stealing from Kenyans. So the best thing we can do, let's do away with the e-citizen. No, e-citizen is not even it's a very brilliant idea, Fred.
Yes,
for those who have enjoyed the services of e-citizen, they can testify to it. Okay?
I remember because this system was set up, I think, during Uhuru's time.
Yes.
And what was sold to us was that the more we avoid human beings coming into contact with, cold cash money, we'll be fighting corruption.
Yes.
So the system was put in place so that you don't deal with a human being.
Exactly.
You want service, you go into a portal,
yes,
you do whatever you need to do, you pay for it,
yes,
and you're sure that you did not have to bribe anyone to get that service.
Exactly.
Brilliant idea. Brilliant idea. But Kenyans have found a way.
Not Kenyans, Fred, not Kenyans. Government. Fred, not Kenyans.
Yes.
Not Kenyans. The government have found a way.
Okay, the Ugandans work in the Kenyan government.
Not Ugandans, Fred, not Ugandans.
Because these are Kenyans who are causing all these things.
Fred, there is no any way a 9 billion can be lost without the knowledge of the Central Bank of Kenya and the National Treasury. Okay? Yes. So, if you talk of National Treasury, headed by John Mbadi, and Central Bank, headed by Governor of the Central Bank, what is his name? Kamau Thoge, if I'm not wrong. These are the government-owned, topmost government-owned financial institution. Now we lost a 9 billion. The same government,
and we're still losing money.
And they say these are private companies who have contract with the government. No, it is not Kenyans. It's the Kenyan government stealing from us. And that's why we are saying we are going to check this government.
Now, when you look at this, the Auditor General seems to be almost the only sane person working for the people of Kenya.
And it is so unfortunate that he has he has a very limited voice.
Yes.
Yeah, he has a limited voice.
As in she can only, every time she speaks, by the way.
Yeah, he will only speak, but nothing will happen. This is not the first time we are reeling of such cases from the Auditor General. This is not the first time the Auditor General is saying theft from the taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
But nothing has been done. Okay? It's so sad. We appreciate whatever the Auditor General is doing. In fact, the Auditor General has now become like
the real opposition.
Not even the real opposition. He has now become like a trailblazer. He will always speak. Okay? Pesa yenyu inaibwa. He has now become, but the unfortunate that those who are supposed to go after our money are part of the problem. It's so sad.
The EACC right now, the alarm bells should be ringing at the loudest.
Yes.
Because all this, when you look at this, you just know what is happening.
Yeah.
There are people who are playing with Kenyan money. If the government's pay bill can transfer money to an undisclosed private entity, then, I mean, what's the description and definition of corruption?
Fred, we don't even have EACC.
What's the definition of corruption? If money can leave the government pay bill and go to an undisclosed private entity.
You see that,
undisclosed.
You see that building called the EACC, and those who are in there, maybe we have the building, the Integrity Center as a building. But those people who are in there, okay, those people are the most corrupt than corruption itself.
Hey, this is sad.
Because let me tell you one thing, Fred. If you want to contest, for those who want to contest for elective positions, one of the requirements is that you have to have clearance from the EACC, apart from that of the of the Director of Criminal Investigation.
Yes.
How did EACC cleared someone who was charged of corruption cases, stealing almost 300 million from the Constituency Development Fund, fined almost 1 billion Kenyan shillings? I don't know where he got in the billion. Paid that $1 billion, walk freely, cleared by the EACC after they found this person guilty to vie again for the second term.
To go and steal more.
To go and steal more. How? Okay? How did the EACC cleared a former minister who was being probed for the NYS corruption cases to go and vie for a governor, a record 2 terms? Then these are the same people that we have a lot of hope that will help us fight corruption, Fred. Are we lying to ourselves?
Maybe, you know, at times, maybe, you see what they were saying, in certain countries, in the States, they have a principle. I mean, when something has become what it is, you almost legalize it.
Yes.
Like they legalize marijuana in the US.
So we should legalize corruption in Kenya.
You see, because it's gotten to a point now.
Yes.
I mean, we are not getting people whose heart is genuine enough to fight corruption. Every person who, name them, pick them, name them, all of them, I need to steal money. So maybe we should just say, this is what you do. If you're going to take money, take it and you have to deposit it in the Kenyan banks.
Okay, Fred, this is what I will say on that. You know, most of the time as the citizen, I think that we've somehow contributed a lot to the problem we're having as far as corruption is concerned. Our constitution have given a lot of powers to our parliament. Those members that sit there. Today, you will all agree with me that everybody that is being appointed by the Kenyan government or any other government must pass through for parliament for vetting. Okay? Talk of ministers, head of parastatals, at least they have to pass. Our parliament play a very big role. I think that my take will be that we have people who love this country. We have patriotic Kenyans. Okay? When we are going to vote, what I meant when I say that now it is time to have a deep thought and have a soul search is that first, why can't we sit back as Kenyans and look who are the character of people that represent us first in parliament and in Senate. Not only today we are talking about e-citizen. We've not talked of amount of money being lost through the counties. Okay? It is like we've devolved corruption to the county level. Today, the governors, I was looking at here, the governors rejected the e-citizen system for the counties. Okay? Why? Okay? Because they think now there is a lot of funds that they are stealing from these people. E-citizen to me was a very brilliant idea that would have reduced corruption because the e-citizen was avoiding cash flow, hand-to-hand cash. It was purely this is a money that could easily be traced. This is a money that can easily be accounted for. But for the people best known to these individuals, they've somehow find a way to steal from Kenya. What I'm saying, Fred, is that as we are approaching 2 years, actually today we are exactly 2 years to the general election.
Yes.
By 8th of 2027, that will be the end of campaign, official campaign. So at least today, 2 years from now, we'll be just around waking up to go to the polls. What I will plead to Kenyans and to the voters is that it is time for us as the people of Kenya to take back our country, okay, from the hands of these corrupt individuals and sit back and ask ourselves, who are the kind of characters that we want to represent us? Fred, today, if that parliament will be an independent parliament working for the people of Kenya, I can say that if we have men and women that are so patriotic and are not as corrupt as they are in that parliament, we will solve the corruption cases even up to 70%.
Yes.
Okay? Because the parliament is more like a court in its own sense. That's why they probe these individuals. There are so many people that have been probed in that parliament in corruption-related cases. CS John Mbadi was summoned in parliament twice. He did not appear. Why? Okay? He didn't appear. Impunity. Twice. Okay? Only for the parliament to find him around 500,000 shillings. No, that guy said, if we don't summon you, if you don't summon twice to appear before a cabinet committee,
if you don't
appear twice, you should not go at all, and you don't even deserve that job. They should just be impeached from that place, and you say you don't deserve to work for the people of Kenya, because in everything we do, the people of Kenya and the interests of Kenya will always come first. That's why I'm saying, as we go to the poll in 2027, I will plead to voters that let us realize and understand, even if we don't care who becomes the president, the president is only a president. We can make the president just a ceremonial president. If we have a strong parliament, the duty of a president will become ceremonial. Okay, but now we have a parliament that member of parliament will be called to State House every day in the morning to collect their daily dues and come back to parliament to rubber stamp everything coming from the executive. Why can't they just say no and work for the people of Kenya? Yeah. Even if the president is corrupt, Fred,
I think if there was a time people should believe in prayer and do something, that parliament, I think there's just a spirit that is within that parliament. When good people get into that house,
they change.
They completely change and become selfish beings. Now let's switch for 2 minutes. Kenya Moja.
Yes.
Last weekend, Edwin Sifuna, yes, Wamushomba, and a number of young leaders, Caleb Amisi, were in, was it Trans Nzoia?
In Saboit.
Yes, and they made statements, and you can start seeing a wave that is developing. Maybe sane leaders, for at least for Edwin Sifuna. I would vote for Edwin Sifuna any day, yes, if what he says is what he believes.
Yes.
I would vote for him 100%. Are we seeing a third force forming?
Yeah, that's technically that is what it is. And I said that we'll see transformation, formation, and reformation going on in towards 2027 general election, and it already started. What these young leaders, if you look at them, is that they are like, what I can say, they are like rebels of their political parties. Look at Wamushomba. At the beginning, Wamushomba was so much supporter of Rigathi Gachagua. But somehow he realized that whatever Rigathi Gachagua stands for and these ideologies are contradicting whatever he stands for. And that's why he decided to join forces with Sifuna, who has been a very big critic of the ODM pact with the UDA party. And Caleb Amisi says that if it is true, then I give him a thumbs up, because he says he's the only member of parliament that has never met President William Ruto. Because according to him, he has never believed in the ideology of President William Ruto. If that is the case, then I think that's what the kind of the leaders that we have. We need leaders, Fred, sometimes that will stand with what they know is right. You better stand by the truth, even if you are alone. But by the time you will be vindicated and say, true, whatever Fred says was the truth. But not the people that now go by their ways. Okay? What we are witnessing from that formation is that they are just trying to form a group of young leaders, which is a good thing.
And Babu Owino is also part of it.
Babu Owino probably will join the force.
Yes. And I was listening to Ravenu Mushomba and talking, and she was talking about Babu Owino. Yes. She was talking about another member of parliament from Mount Kenya, which I believe is Ndende Nyoro.
True.
And so it's a group of very sane, sound-minded. I don't know whether I would use the same word with Babu, but people who, at least their track records, you look at them, these are sane.
Yeah, they're visionary leaders, and that's why I was saying that I still believe that we have patriotic Kenyans in this country that can lead this country to the future that we all wanted. Not leaders that will always go there for their own selfish gain. If you look at this thing, I think even this so-called united opposition, there will be going to be a split.
Yes.
Already there are wrangles within the DAPK party, which is also a major party within the United Opposition Formation. And I think the DPAK, you know, the fight between
they want to kick Eugene out.
and Eugene. But what Natembeya was saying, Fred,
yes.
from where I sit, I supported what Natembeya was saying.
Yes.
How do you have a political party that consists of your village mates, not even tribe men? A village, is it a party? And this is why even the register of political parties, you know, sometimes you look at things happening in this country, then you wonder, what kind of leaders do we have? How on earth did a register of political party approve such kind of a party? The party leader, deputy party leader, secretary general, chairman, treasurer, they all come from one constituency. Then you ask yourself, what nonsense is this? How can you all, you know, they all come from one village. These are the party that can even conduct their governing council committee on their own dialects, speaking their own mother tongue. Then you ask yourself, is this a national party? So when Natembeya decided to question that, I supported him because that will not be the kind of a political party we have. We need to have a political party that has a national outlook. So for that, I think with the time, Natembeya might also join this the Kenya Moja faction. Okay, it's just a matter of time. But what we are looking for, what I want to plead and what I want to believe to Kenya is that we've gone so far. There are so many things that is not going right in this country that as we are going to vote, I said it the other time that the only thing that we must carry is our brain.
As we go to the election.
Yes, as we go to the election, as we approach the campaign period, there will be a lot of hype, there will be money flowing right and center, but let us not forget our brain. Because when this storm must have been calmed after election, then now we will realize the outcome of our action. So let us not wait until that time. That's where we come back and we go and search for our brain where we left it. Let us carry our brain along so that even if the so-called this Eugene Sifuna and company now regroup to form the Kenya Moja, we can even see and observe that they are not trying to deceive us, but they are actually fighting for whatever we believe in as a country. It should not be about speaking big English. It should not be about making the loudest noise. It should not be about criticizing ODM and criticizing UDA. No. We should always be focusing on the interest and whatever they represent.
So basically what you're saying is, come and tell us. As I said, I listened to Amushomba, and she said the time has come when instead of just speaking one term, two term.
Exactly.
Come and tell us, for the health sector, instead of Chief Shah, this is what we are going to do, or we are going to improve this so that this can be done.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Solutions. Don't just make noise.
That's why, Fred, and I've made it very clear from the word go, if you can remember, that I don't subscribe to this one term. Saying one term Ruto must go from morning till evening, January to December, is not the solution. You come tell us the education funding is not working. We are paying this much. How do we solve
this? Is how we are going to do it.
SHA is not working. Why did we move from NIF to SHA? We will not try to move from SHA to UFC or to do something else. Tell us now, we already have the SHA. The name is not the problem. The people are the problem.
And the system.
Tell us how you are going to make the system work. Don't change the name.
Kama kazi.
Sindio?
Ndio hivyo, tunamalizia hapo. Umeongea vizuri sana. In fact, ni vile anaitwa nani? Mletee kikombe ya chai. Ameongea vizuri sana. All right, we bring the curtains down on the show this morning, and I hope that what you've heard is something that gets something within you to think, because 9.4 billion shillings of your money that should have gone to do so many things, taken care of the education system in this country. 9.4 billion would have done that. Has been misused. Has been misused. Money has left the government pay bill and has gone to an undisclosed private entity. If that doesn't get you thinking, I don't know what will. Something is seriously wrong. And we ought to really praise this lady, the Auditor General, because the work that she's doing for this country is amazing. She is the last front. She's the last front. You and I need to do something so that we make sure that action is taken on this. I would expect that the president should say something about this e-citizen, this scam that is, obviously it's a scam now. And we shouldn't allow ourselves to have something else brought up so that we forget this. Let's deal with things and finish it so that we can move forward. That's what leadership is all about. We bring the curtains down on this show, and please continue praying for this country. Continue praying for the president, for the opposition, for everybody in government. Sawa. Good morning.